this question has got several different parts to it. Now, the first part, vast majority of people did very well. Name one ecosystem which is being managed for future use. Your case study was Costa Rica. Many people used Costa Rica as the example. So if you didn't, that would be the first thing that you need to be aware of, is Costa Rica. Second part of the question, which people did very well on, was talking about how it was managed. So we looked at lots of different strategies. We looked at ecotourism. We looked at debt for nature swaps. We looked at national parks. And we looked at wildlife corridors. Okay, we did this in the lessons. Now, if you are just telling me about Costa Rica and you're just telling me what you know about these things, that's not enough to get full marks in this question. Okay, now if you have a look at your help sheet, it tells you that you are being asked to evaluate the success of these strategies. So not only do you have to tell me what the strategies are, but you have to tell me whether or not they are working or not. So if you're assessing it, you're judging it. You're making a decision about whether or not they are working or whether or not they still need to improve. So that's the part that was lacking in many of your answers. Now, if you're talking about whether it's creating a sustainable future, you need to make sure that you mention sustainability in your response. Many of you didn't mention sustainability in your responses. Justifying your reasoning means looking at both sides. So it should be a balanced appraisal, which is always in the mark scheme. They always use those terms. And you should essentially just conclude your thoughts. So that's the structure you're looking for. You've almost got to break the question up into 3 different parts. Now, in order to get the full 8 marks on your mark scheme, it says you need exceptional application of knowledge. So you need to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. A balanced and coherent response, drawing together wider geographical understanding to justify your decision. So what that means is, that means talking about how these things can be sustainable. So you've got to start linking them together. So how I would tackle this question is I would do what many of you did. I would say in Costa Rica, the rainforest ecosystem is being managed to try and achieve a sustainable future. Okay, and then I would start talking about the ways in which it's being managed. So I would say one way it is being managed is through ecotourism. Then I would describe what ecotourism is and talk about whether or not I think it's successful and sustainable. So I would say ecotourism is small scale groups being shown the rainforest ecosystem whilst on holiday. then I would talk about how sustainable this is. So I would say this is successful because there is minimal impact on the environment for example, tourists will stay in eco-lodges using renewable energy sources and sustainably sourced timber. Now you need to talk about how it could be unsuccessful. So you can say the success of ecotourism is limited due to the small group sizes However, the money generated from ecotourism is used to conserve the ecosystem. Now because we're running out of time, what I would then do is I would assess these other management strategies in exactly the same way. I would talk about their limitations, I would talk about how successful they can be, and then at the end I would make a conclusion. I would conclude whether or not I believe that overall these management strategies are sustainable. Okay.